Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out.
Anyways, well, thank you, Jen, for joining us. We got another great guest coming up, but let's reset real quick. You're watching Weekend at Gabe's. I'm Weekend Gabe. The Real Sam Crane is to your right, holding us down with all the great production and sound effects you're hearing throughout the show. Give us a follow on these socials at Weekend Gabe, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Joining us now, he is a man of many talents. 5 different sources of income. 5.
Count them, America. 5.
We're gonna get a job. I guess he sells weed legally. He definitely does photography. He got the videography down, and then also he's slaying sneakers. He does it all. And the man joining us now, Kayo Did That right here on Weekend at Gabe. Good evening.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
I bet. Perfect. Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. You also have an upcoming event on October 23rd titled Halloween Shoot. I want to get into that a little bit at some point, so how folks can come out and get shot by you. I mean, without needing the vest, actually,
Yeah.
For the portfolio. But you're currently in Los Angeles, right? So I know you travel back and forth between the city and LA, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm back in Chicago. I was going back and forth from LA for the first 4 or 5 months of this year, just doing like video work, talking to some people. I'm taking a lot of photos and videos. Just moving back and forth. I came back to Chicago to set up my studio. So I've been out here for the last 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah. So and I know you've been doing a lot of video work this year, because I seen just sort of the timestamp. So I know that's something you're getting more into outside the photography work. Talk a little bit about that transition of doing more videography and helping people see their vision through their video and music.
I think even when I had my first camera when I was younger, I was always playing around with a video function. But as this year I started posting that I was doing music videos, coming up with treatments and concepts. And it was I realized what goes into making a good video, because it's not like a photo session. I can do it in, with one other person holding a reflector just to bounce some light off, and it'll go over smoothly. But with videos, I was doing everything by myself, and I talked to someone who used to produce documentaries for Red Bull. She's like, that's not how anything goes. So as I started realizing, getting on doing some production aid work and some lighting help on actual sets, I realized, like, oh my God, there's like 30 people involved in this process. It just can't be
Right.
yourself. From going from, and then the way you handle the whole shooting process is way more thought out, because it's video. You do not have another chance to get this scene. So you need to do this correctly. And just seeing how everything works, it kind of opened my mind to like, okay, well, the cost needs to go up, but if the cost goes up, I can make this I can make it as successful and get it true to your vision, and that's, at the end of the day, when you're a freelancer, you just always want to hit your client's expectations and try to, make their vision come to life,
That's talk a little bit about that, because here at the show, like for a while it was just me, and I realized I can't do this by myself. Like, you can do it, but you're not doing it at a quality level. That's why Sam got brought in. So like, talk a little bit about like sort of that when that light went off, you're like, yeah, I could do it, but it's not gonna come out the way I think I wanted to. Did that take some sort of like for you to check sort of your ego? Because I know you had the skill set to do it, but also now you have to trust other people to fall in line to what your vision is. And talk a little bit about how you came to that realization.
I would say just over the course of everything, when I started getting, when I started being a production assistant for like commercials and some higher level music videos, I'm going through like the pre-production, production, and post-production, you realize like, wow, there's so many moving parts. You can do everything yourself, but you're just putting a lot more work on your own shoulders. Even if you keep all the money, is that, whatever you get paid for video, $500 to $1,000, really worth, I have to work on this project for the next 3 months. It's like everyday thing, because from doing the treatment, all the pre-production, setting location, casting. If you're doing all that by yourself, you haven't even touched the camera and thought of your camera motion before you got to the shoot, and you're already overwhelmed because it's like, I'm doing everything. I had worked with a couple, makeshift teams. It went smoother. I liked it a little bit more, especially when it came to, I don't have to touch the camera. I can guide and direct the shoot to go the right way. I can pay a cameraman, or I can have someone be my my DP, which is director of photography. But that really means that they are the person in charge of setting and using all the camera motion. When I started realizing that I could be more of like in a leadership position, or just trying to keep everything sorted, which, I usually do with my own bookings and my own photo shoots, I kind of had the idea like, okay, cool. There are people who know how to set this better than I can. So why would I do it myself and be at the medium or average when I can hire the guy who went to film school for this and has been doing it for 10 years, and right. Because at the end of the day, when you start stepping into like more behind the scenes, conducting the orchestra per se, you start realizing that, I can play the violin metaphorically, but I can also have the section leader play the violin, and they're way better than I am. So, to make this piece come to life and make everything sound correct and have everything hit its notes, sometimes you want to leave it to the people who have the expertise in the field, and then you can just guide them along and then try to, work more directly with the client and just kind of like pull the strings behind everything. So started realizing that I still love doing camera work. I still love getting behind the camera, setting the camera, and doing all that. I can be, I can do something before, I can do something after, I can do something during. But understanding every chain in the line of production is very key for anybody. If you want to be a video guy, you want to be the guy who had to bring all the cords in, and you want to be the guy who set up all the lights, the guy who directed the whole thing, the guy who produced everything. You want to wear all those hats, because when you start doing higher level stuff, you're like, I know what the lighting guy needs because I used to be a lighting guy. Or I know what the sound guy needs because I used to be a sound guy. And even if you don't have the top level of expertise, you can make everyone's life easier by understanding what they need, right, even at a basic level.
I think that's one of the things that I respect about you the most, is that you do constantly. You do in all types of levels. I've seen you run your own shoot. I've seen you been a part of other people's shoots. I've seen you do, photo shoots, video shoots. You worked with closed sessions for a little bit. But recently, you've got your own studio. You've got your own studio, your own place. Talk about how much of a crowning jewel that was for you, having worked so hard, so long on so many other people's projects, to finally have a home base.
That was, so when I started getting paid freelance commissions, I was like 17 or 18. I just had a little Canon T5. My idea, I told myself, I always set out a 1 week goal, a 1 month goal, a 1 year goal, and a 5 year goal. My 5 year goal was eventually I want to have the spot and start teaching and educating, or, giving knowledge and information based on my own experiences to the community to the visual community, and help assist and bring up, younger people or older people, whoever's trying to, that wants to pick up a camera, just assisting them and trying to help them along the path, because I didn't have too much support. When I was coming up, I was fucking up all the time. I was making mistakes, just kind of reaching out to people and being like, I've had a couple people who've met me through shooting or just came to an event and we just chopped it up. Or I used to host clubhouse rooms where we just all connect with people. And I had this one, she ended up becoming my intern, but she had DM'd me. She's like, hey, I just bought a Sony. I don't really know how to use it. I need some education. And I've already hit up 5 or 6 photographers and no one's responded. And I responded instantly. I was like, come to the studio if you can today. And I'll talk to you with me and my studio manager who does video work. I'm like the in-house at my studio. And we just chopped it up with her. We taught her a bunch of stuff. And she was like, wow, you guys are the first people who ever gave me that open knowledge. And I was always a big proponent of, because me teaching you is not going to stop my success. Right. Me educating you and teaching you how to use your camera is not going to mess
Hold
with
on,
my
did you hear that, America? God damn it. Did you hear that? Yes, I love it. I love it.
educating and getting you to the point where you can be the creator that you want to be. That's, that's kind of like, that's my dream for someone who asks me for knowledge or information, because my clientele is my clientele. People who book me, I'm still gonna get my bookings no matter if I created 5 more raw photographers. They're gonna get their bookings too. Everybody, you can't hit every person in the market. There's gonna be different market shares based on who you know. You go to a party, you meet 5 people, they end up booking you. That person wasn't doing that, so that's how I know. Like, I can make you as the best photographer you can possibly want to become, or help you along that path and trajectory, and watch you sprout and create your own system of success and wealth, or just from your creative ambition without being selfish. That's the biggest thing. I think that's a huge thing in every creative field. When you make it, or you metaphorically, or you become like an expert in your field, people are always going to reach out, and a lot of people stop, trying to help out people because they start looking at it more competition. Right. I don't really look at anything as competition because, there's there's enough money, there's enough space, there's enough, bookings, there's enough events out here for everybody to get their due share based on what the work and effort they put in. So I'm never pressed to, lend a helping hand, So as I stated before, when I was 17, I said I wanted to open a studio and I wanted to educate people. And by the time I'm 23 now, it maybe took me an extra year, but I finally got to a position. It's funny, I ran into my my studio offer by chance, because I did a music video. I don't even know, but a director / producer named Lakeshore HY had invited me. She's like, "Hey, come to the studio. I want you to meet one of my DPs, or my key." Not a key. Her gaffer, her gripping gaffer. He grips and gaffs, which is basically setting up lights and then angling lights and understanding how to light a scene. We met up at his studio before he built anything inside of it, and he's just like, we chopped it up. They told me I could be a set aide. I was really down for it because I'm like, wow, you guys have a red camera. A red camera is crazy. I got a black magic, that's cool, but a red camera, I mean, I just want to see it because I've never seen one in my life before. All right, so but a couple weeks later, he had just said, "Hey, man, I'm going to build a cyclorama wall, which is like the curved white wall, makes everything look endless. And I want you to be my in-house." And I told him, I was like, "Bro, I've been doing photos for 6 years, 7 years. My studio was my homie's living room for like 2 years." And he wouldn't be, he'd be trying to, get home from work. He just sees me in his living room with a whole, a whole set. And he's like, "Oh, man, I just saw I'm over it. Hey, look." And so I was like, man, I need to get a space. I had worked out of studios, but having that support system and having a place I can consistently go to, just to even practice,
right?
Because that's the biggest thing when you do visual art. You need time to practice and set up and everything, set your lighting and understand oh, I need to do this. When my photo client comes in with the concept, I want to have everything already prepared for it. I don't want to be setting something up I wonder how that's going to work when I shoot it, and figuring it out, because, a lot of photo sessions, they go quick. So you want to have everything set to specification to your liking before they get there. And then you might have to make minor adjustments, like, "Hey, you're taller than I thought you were going to be. Let me bring the light up, half a foot." But, as long as you're not creating the whole lighting concept in your head as you're doing it, it comes out way better. So it was just a really imperative spot. We had today a panel bringing together photo and video people. We had a couple producers, a couple of people who did independent films that got published on Amazon Prime. We had a couple of photographers. It was funny because we had a photo and then a video panel, and I was on the photo panel, but they just ended up asking me questions about music videos. It took the third question. They're like, "So how did you make this music video?" And I was like, "Well, it's the photo panel, but I will answer your question." But community driven stuff like that. I had told one of my interns at the studio is when you take money out of the community, if we're going to be having people pay to use the space or book me as a photographer, you want to add something, give something back to the community, whether bringing people together, sharing knowledge, or, filling out your Rolodex of just professionals you can count on. "Oh, you're an editor. Let me see your editing. Oh, you're really cool. I would have never met you if I never came to this event." Just establishing that, because that means, the quality of work can get a lot higher. And in Chicago, compared to LA or New York, there's a lot less resources for creatives. I can go to LA, I have 100 studios to choose from. In Chicago, there's good ones. It's 15 to 20 to 25, but especially when it comes to video production, you can't go get a sound stage. It's not easily available. You can't peer space it, but in LA, you can do a lot of stuff. You can grab a rain room if you want. I can't find one in Chicago, right. So establishing the connections between those people, you might link up 2 or 3 people. They might go buy a warehouse and set up, a studio in there, just linking and bringing people together is how we establish and build this community. So we can start taking on, instead of money leaving the city, retaining and giving back to the community, so I always kind of believed in that ideal, that philosophy of, if you take something, you have to always give something back. And, small steps, I'm hopefully I will be doing something with After School Matters. I think COVID messed it up, but hopefully maybe spring semester I can start doing some, teaching photo and video and to some high schoolers and just kind of build it up from there. Because funny, I took photography in high school and I didn't fucking care at all.
And look at you now, man.
Now. I had I went back to my old high school to talk to my teacher who taught me photography. And she's like, yeah, you didn't care in my class at all. And now you're just, I showed her my work and then the studio spot. She's like, this is crazy. I thought you were just going to, I had no idea I was capable of this,
Right.
I mean, and I was like, yeah, I didn't know I could do this either. Shit. I found out along the way, right?
That was going to be my next question, actually, about you. What was your first camera? And obviously you had that instruction in the classroom, but I was wondering if you also had kind of like a mentor that now is inspiring you to pay it forward through this community give back. Did that happen?
I would say, to answer the first part of the question, my first camera was a Canon T5. My best friend had bought one too. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. Cause I was always good. The reason I got into photography is I had my Instagram when I was, like 15 or 16, just take iPhone photos. And people were like, hey, you're pretty good at that. You should buy a camera. And then my friend had bought a T5 and he's like, well, I'm gonna go buy a Nikon. So do you want to buy my T5? And I was like, okay, fuck it. So I grabbed I grabbed the cheapest lens that I could have got on Amazon. It was like a 50 millimeter. It was a 1.8 Canon 50 millimeter, which is really small lens, but it's really sharp. It has a lot of fine detail. And I just ran around with that for like 2 years, just taking photos because I thought it was fun, just and just posting them, learning how to use Lightroom and editing. And then my first paid shoot was at the House of Blues for a jazz artist. He's like, hey, come to my show. I'll give you like $100 to come take photos. And I'm like, oh my God, money? I didn't even know I could get paid from this, So I went to Best Buy. I got a little like cheap little like flash. And when I went to the shoot, I was taking photos and I was like, why are the photos coming all like blank, like black screens? For the first like hour and a half, I was shooting with my lens cap on.
That's a rookie mistake, baby.
And I was like, well, I was getting all nervous. Like, oh man, what did I break the camera? And then someone tapped me on the shoulder. Like, the cap's still on. And I was like, oh. And I took it off, and I still couldn't fix it. But then I had to like find the light. And then I went home. When I got home from that, I didn't get frustrated. I got kind of sad because I feel like I messed up the whole time. And then I researched how to set up my camera to shoot with a light, with a speed light because I had no idea. I had no idea. So, and then it just kind of grew. Everything kind of grew from there. What was the second part to that question? I'm sorry. I kind of
did you have like a mentor or someone that inspires you to now give back to the community?
I would say I wouldn't say necessarily in photography. I feel like my mentor in photography was YouTube. I had but I feel like in a lot of facets in my life, when I was younger, I played basketball, I did boxing. I had really good coaches that kind of taught me the importance of through the sport of, growing to be a man and responsibility. Different things like that have added. And then especially in the music industry, because before I picked up a camera, I was doing audio engineering. I was producing a little bit. And when I go to studios, I had a couple
we miss Kayo the rapper. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna bring that up right now, but we definitely miss Kayo the rapper, bro. We could use a couple more tracks off that way.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I just want to. I don't know. I miss rapping, but it's just so much going on. It's like I feel like I have to dedicate myself. I used to do poetry and spoken word. I would have to dedicate myself time to write, and when it's so busy, You know, I was just, dang, I don't have time to make music, but it's still in my head. There's still ideas circulating. You know, eventually when everything calms down a little bit more, and maybe I get hired an employee or something like an assistant or something, I'll have more time to pursue my other creative ambitions. Because the crazy thing is, I can make a song and then hand make a video to it.
You got it all in house, baby.
You know,
That's what we love.
it's all,
but I'm glad you brought up working in the music industry. Your client portfolio is extensive, my guy. You need only scroll down Kayo's Instagram just for a half a second, and you will find at least 3 people that you know from the city of Chicago. My question is, is there one shoot in your mind where maybe you were like a little bit starstruck or like just like really nervous to do the shoot and then ended up going really well? Like, you have a favorite shoot ever?
Let me think. When funny enough, when I still had my first camera, my cheap old camera, I had a event curator hit me up, and it was like, I always told people for like a year, like 3 years ago, it was my mission to meet Samino. And I was like, I love Samino, I love his music. I just wanted to meet him in person. I was like, he'd be in Chicago, so it's not like I want to meet Drake. You know, it's gonna be harder to go meet Drake. You know, because Drake doesn't throw parties in Chicago. But I had did a John Doe show, or I had did a little event for her, and she had told me, she's like, hey, I'm hosting this event at Chicago Place, and it's gonna be like John Doe, Shawnee Day, a couple other, I forget. I think MFN Mello was there, and this is gonna be a decent little turnout. When he's like, hey, if you come do photos for me, Samino's probably gonna be there. And I took my little T5 photos, I posted everything, and they opened up backstage, and I just chopped it with Samino for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He was really high, so was I. That was a pretty cool moment through that. I ended up going to Classics a couple times. I met Chris Classics. He had given me the opportunity to do a Samino show at Solo House, and I liked how those photos came out. But I don't know. I feel like when it comes to events, I do get a little starstruck because, like, damn, I play this guy in my car. It's crazy. But at the same time, it's also, oh my God, I got to set the camera up. I got to get these photos to come out well. Yeah. The biggest advice sometimes I can tell for photographers is I've done a lot of events for free when I was starting out. I just get out there just to have the opportunity and then put that in portfolio. The standard shouldn't be working for free, but sometimes when it's cool and you want to do it, because asking for $100, $150, they might be like, all right, bro, no, because we didn't approach you, you approached us, right?
Yeah.
But so sometimes, a lot of times when I do events, people see me doing events. If I'm doing a concert, they're like, oh, it's the Asian guy, so he's running back and forth up and down the stage, and I'll get a DM like, hey, I saw you at the show. I saw them after I posted. They're like, hey, I saw you at the show. I want you to come do my show.
Right.
And I'll pay you whatever. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're shooting, if you're at events or you're doing something for free, other people don't know that.
Yeah.
That's an easy finesse. That's the easy way to do something. A lot of times I'll do community photo shoots, but when I post them, I'm not posting, this was a free shoot. You don't have to pay me. You know what I mean? It's kind of, you get the content, you get the material, post it, and do whatever you want. You can release it how you want to, but you don't have to go into the specifics of if you got paid or not. Because if someone approaches you, someone sees that you got that opportunity and you took good photos, those people will think naturally like, oh, this guy had to get paid to take these. You know what I mean? Just because it's hard sometimes, especially with camera people in Chicago. It's hard to get good paying work. Especially in the music industry. It's like a rapper. He's like, I got $50, bro. It's like, well, that's a lot of work for $50, but hey, I'll do it. But this is kind of like breaking into finding your niche, because if you want to make this your profession or your life, you have to find ways to actually get paid from it instead of because it's fun shooting with some of my favorite artists, but eventually it's like I'm doing 5 free shoots a week, whereas the rest of the money, where's the money gonna come from? I got bills to pay. I'm a grown ass man, so that's knowledge I like to give to younger photographers and give them an idea, because everyone thinks this is a standard, like I should get paid for everything. It's like, you should get paid for everything, but don't turn something down for free when there's 50 people in that room you're going to take photos of that will pay you. you know, and just kind of navigating and understanding that, because a lot of people, you know, minds tend to work in black and white. Everything's a gray area. You have to make the differential for your own self, because if you can't do it for free, then okay, don't do it for free, you know. But you have to make that decision for yourself, because you don't know what walking through that door is going to hold, because you don't know what's in that room until you open the door.
Yeah. All right, we got one last question before we got to let you go. And Gabe, I'm sorry if you had one loaded up, but I'm about to step all over it. And speaking of stepping all over things, you do the sneaker thing, man. You do the resell the sneakers. I'm curious, man. KO, top 3 sneakers that has got to be a must cop, and they don't have to be ones that you got. You know, they could you know, you could shoot for the stars. Give me 3 sneakers that you would love to have in your collection.
Man, I had and this was one of my, when I was younger, when I was still in high school, I was doing the sneakers really heavy. They had and I bought off eBay, off like a trusted seller off eBay. I bought LeBron 9 All-Star games. So they're all orange LeBrons with the glow sole.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling them for $1,200, you know, because I knew when I got them, I was like, oh, that's a great price for these. I can flip them, even though they weren't in my size, but I still got them off for $1,200. I want those back, because that shoe is just not even because the story I have behind that. Because I made a lot of money. That's probably, when I was a kid, that was probably the most money I've ever made off flipping anything. But you know, now that I'm older, you know, I have a little bit more money. If I can get that pair of shoes back and put them in a glass box, and then when you come,
you wouldn't even wear them. You just put them in a glass box.
Never would touch them. Never would touch them.
Oh
you
man!
You know, I could use that as a nightlight. You know, okay,
two more.
I would say this is a weird shoe to say in this, but I want a pair of 03 Mocha 3s, because the 03 Mocha 3, it's the Jordan 3 of the white and brown, but the material they used on that shoe was like Italian leather. And people don't realize, because no one liked them when they came out, because they're like, it's white and brown, that sucks, you know. But I just want the material, and because I like a Jordan 3, and I do have a white and brown pair of Jordan lows, 1 lows, and I like brown. I don't know. They don't make brown. They don't put brown in Jordans.
They don't put brown in Jordans. Yeah,
you know. So
that's a spicy take. Now you got to blow us away with your third one.
I would say I'll go with a classic, because this is the best Jordan all time. I don't want to hear anything. A Jordan 4. I'd say a white cement, because that's like the one Mike wore, you know. Or you could get a bread, but he also wore the white cements at home games, away games. So I'd get a white cement pair of white cement 4s. That's probably the greatest Jordan of all time. You know, you can argue the 1, because that's the first one. Okay, cool. They look great. I love them. But a 4 is what you see, and you're like, that's a Jordan. Has to be a Jordan.
So if KO is on your Christmas list, y'all, and you out there right now, Jordan 3s and Jordan 4s, and if you can get some brown in there, you're really doing it, America.
All right, before we let you go, KO, I want to give you a chance to promote your this upcoming Halloween shoot event taking place later this week. Folks can go to Eventbrite, but it looks like was it like $50 that they can get a quality shot of them in their costume? Is that the niche of it over at your Launchpad Studios?
Oh.
KO, can you hear me?
Oh no. What happened? We lost the audio. Damn.
Oh well. All right, that's just anyways, if you're the October 23rd, we'll put the link out on our social so you can go get some looks like you can get for $50 for 30 minutes. You get unlimited looks and a photographer included for your Halloween shoot, so you can take some really great photos with your costume. Do I got that right, KO? Just nod.
Yep, yeah, we got that right. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
All right, sounds good. KO, you can't hear us. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't matter. We're over time anyways. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate so much of your storytelling and the great work that you're doing. And good luck with the studio, Launchpad Studios, and all the great community work that you're doing. We love you for it. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Just gonna leave it at that.
Hey, technical difficulties happen on this show all the time, but yo, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. If you are not booking a shoot with Kayo Did That in the year of our Lord 2021, then you will not be able to afford a shoot with Kayo Did That in the year of our Lord 2022. So you better get on it right now, wherever you're at. Go ahead, go to the event, get yourself some. He's out there with the studio. He will come to you. He'll work with your budget. Shoot him a DM because he's one of the nicest guys I know around, and always personable, always fun to talk to him at parties, and yeah, an incredible young dude doing incredible work.
Dude, these are crack prices, dude. $50 to work with KO.
Oh yeah, You're not gonna be able to get that for long. The man's 23. You imagine KO at 26 taking $50 shoots? It's not happening. Forget about it.
No. I got to get a costume first before I even go see KO. But anyway, so we got to go. This was a great first night for Art Week. Thank you to Jenica. Thank you to KO for giving us time. Tons of great stories, tons of great content. We'll post these up tomorrow in our YouTube channel. If you missed any part of it, so don't worry about it. You definitely go back and get the on-demand of the interviews. But today was really good. I smiled so much listening to everyone's story because of just how passionate they are about the work that they do and just how inspired they are, and it just makes me feel really good about that.
I love talking to visual artists about their art. I will say it like this. I was sort of going back and forth on whether or not I would say it like this, but I love talking to visual artists about the art more so than I love just looking at the art, because you get a certain level of 3D, and talking to Jenica about how her dance relates to watercolor, talking with KO about sneakers, but also, like, that guy is so hard working, and him really trying to give back to the community, to reach a hand back. And, it's everything that we were talking about with DJ RTC. The new Chicago loves you. You know what I mean? And we're spreading love. We're sharing, supporting, and showing love, Gabe. That's what we do here on this show. And that's what we do here in this city, in this generation.
Listen, I've been dying to get a camera of my own, and when I do, I'm gonna go see KO. I'm gonna just show up on his doorstep, like, "Hey, heard you giving out free tips. I need several tips. One that's free information, and show me how this works." I will be out there at some point in the near future. So KO, don't act like you don't know us when we show up in real time. All right, but that's going to be our time. On Thursday night, we got another great, this is a night 2 of Art Week here on Weekend at Gabe's. We have Haley Rodden set to join us, and also Kate White is scheduled to join us as well. Yeah. So we got 2 fantastic artists who are going to close us out for the week. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then next week, we also got some great guests already in the hopper that we can preview and tease on Thursday night. So we got a lot going on Weekend at Gabe. So don't forget to share, support, and show love by following us on these socials, Weekend Gabe, Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. We are everywhere like a cat meme. So definitely put us into your life. It'll be the best thing you ever did. Trust me when I tell you that. Sam, thank you as always. What did I miss? We good? We Gucci?
You know what? You only missed one thing, Gabe. You only missed one thing.
Hit it.
We're out, America. Don't call us for nothing. Back Thursday night. More flowers and more paintings. It's Art Week.
I'm gonna get my roll on. Shout out to the big timers. Dante Culpepper. All right, we out, America. Have a good night. Later.
Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head, and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.